All right. I just had a quick thought. This really isn't going to take long. I know I said a lot. It's really not going to take long, but I just had a thought about what love is. Yes, we can sing. What? I'm not going to sing the song. I want to get flagged, right? Um, what exactly is love? Now it's been a lot. It's still today a lot of confusion and it's just confusion, unsettling thoughts about what love is. Now, I'm gonna say something. The world keep trying to tell us what love is through this, as I've heard in the on some social media. Um, this Disneyfication of love, is this fairy tale, and that I also don't agree that that's love. I think that's just infatuation and fantasy. But we usually try to equate, and as a matter of fact, it kind of ticked me off. Um, why is it that we still believe that marriage is about love? Why do we still believe that you marry somebody because you love them? I don't. How can you love? Okay. Let's go through some steps, right? If we're going to move according outside of sin, we're going to try to stay righteous, right? That means you're not going to do anything that creates a memory that is in sin also. When does a person actually sin as far as marriage or singular or being single? Is when they touch each other. Everything else you can do and you not sin, right? We can go to the movies, we can sleep in the same house. I'm not talking about living together because the whole shacking stuff is just stupid to me. Anyway, but we can go to work. I can call you every day. We can talk every day. We can study together. We can eat together. We can go out and have fun and visit friends and blah, 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 blah. Wash each other's clothes, drive each other's cars, depending on where we can do all kinds of stuff. There's no sin there. As soon as you touch the person, that's sin, because that's the temple of God. You trespass. Without permission, you trespass. But let's get off of that whole part of it. We still are, for some reason, telling and trying to get people and convince people to marry based on love. That is so stupid. Why? Because especially if you believe that love is an emotion. Emotions are fleeting. They can't even take root by the rivers. If you know what I'm talking about, if you know, you know. These things, love is something that comes and go. It's not solid. It's not stable. So why would you marry based on love? And if you love that person, how do you say, I fell in love with that person? What does that mean? How do you fall in love with a person before you start courting and doing stuff that's dangerous? You say, I hang out with them and I just love the way they do it. You don't do that with friends. You don't like the way your friend, you don't like the same stories as your friends. You don't like the same movies as your friends who you don't want to marry. Okay. You don't like, you don't like the same foods. You don't trust your friends enough to where you can fall asleep around them. So what is it that you're actually feeling like you need? Because marriage is not something. Okay, let me put it like this. This is what I believe. Calm down. This is what I believe. Marriage is not a ready-made thing. Marriage is what you actually create. You create marriage. You don't. Marriage is not a vehicle that's waiting and you go sign your paper on the contract and you sit in the seat just to later find out that you're not good at driving and you really don't like this ride. That's not marriage. Marriage is something that you create. It's not sitting there waiting for you to fill it in. And I think most people go in thinking that it's already ready made. They're trying to fit this picture or this bill based on something that was done before them that has most likely failed. Marriage is not that. Marriage is what you and the other person creates real time. It's based on a covenant, and the covenant is based on the needs of you two real time. It is not based on the needs of somebody else. It's not based on the needs of something else, another person's idea. It's based on what you need. So it's real time. So you create the marriage. How can you fail on something that you decided that you wanted to have in the first place? Unless you chose for the wrong reasons. Because you said, I love him. I love her. Love. Do you need the person or not? And to get some things, kind of out there, the world is actually trying to tell women that they shouldn't need a man. How does that make sense? Why would you marry somebody you don't need? You have all these people around you. Why don't you just marry one of them willy nilly? No, you still going based on this thing, this false notion of love and Disneyfication. I like that word. It sounds well. Anyway, but you want to get married based on something that doesn't even make sense. The covenant is based on the needs of both parties. That's it. It's not. I can say it, but then people will think I'm actually against pastors of the church. But those are usually leaders. You could say the clerks at the court or whoever can officiate a marriage. I don't like the fact that we have for decades now, yeah, probably even a century, for decades now have been allowing people to be married under the guise of love and allowing them to make choices without trying to counsel and guide them and tell them this is a covenant. This is not something ready made. You have to need this thing or don't do it. Things you need, you fight for. Things you need, you try to make sure you don't lose it all. But now look at how high the divorce rate is. For what? Because they got married for the wrong reasons and nobody tried to coach or teach them anything different. The covenant is what you and that person makes. And if you meet another person, that will be a new or different kind of covenant. It's not the same covenant. That means it fits you. But people are trying to marry based on an image that's already ready made that doesn't even fit them. They're too busy trying to fit the mold of something else that doesn't even belong to them. You're not even supposed to be in that vehicle. That has nothing to do with you. But you love this person. I'm not even trying to be weird. I love my mom. I know this is a different kind of love, but I never thought about marrying her. I love my daughter. Never thought about marrying her. I love my brother. Never thought about marrying him because and I actually need them. But the covenant is something that I'm willing to make with this other person, especially if we plan on bringing life into this world. We plan on being stewards of a message or of a promise or of something else that God may have for somebody else to come and perform on this plane. And hey, God, can you use us? Can you use us? Can you use us to bring forth this being that have a mission of whatever it is? I know the being doesn't belong to me, but the spouse does. Y'all don't want to hear that part. The Bible says it though. Does not the Bible say that your body belong to that person? When you get married, you can't be thinking about yourself. You're supposed to be thinking about the other person. Which means you've been growing this whole time. You already know what it is you got, which you already know who you are, which means when you're married, you're supposed to be spending a lot more time telling the other person who you are, telling them how to make you work, tell them how to make you work. Look, if you want me to move, you can't be coming with this other stuff. You gotta come to me like this. Bring me this so I can use it, so I can build something, so I can be more effective. Bring me this because I need you to bring me this. That's why I married you because you're capable of bringing me this. You're capable of showing me this, of taking me here. The world try to tell women that they don't need a man and they don't need this and they don't need that. But isn't that what she's supposed to be doing? Shouldn't a woman don't okay, if the woman is truly the weaker vessel, this is a question. Don't jump the gun. If the woman is truly the weaker vessel, then shouldn't she be looking or seeking to be found by a man who can protect her? Right? That makes sense, doesn't it? He he can protect her. So that's why she looks for these physical traits because she believes these physical traits are better equipped or, can be used to protect her better. She lives in a world that does not either she cannot or does not choose to work these jobs that pays this much, or if she wants to be a homemaker, she's not going to be out working. So she needs somebody who will provide. We got an example of that in the tabernacle. The high priest and Aaron's son, the priest, the Levites, they never left the tabernacle. They ministered to God day in and day out, which is why the sacrifices were brought. And a portion of those sacrifices was for the food for them to eat because they didn't work. That God set that up, that it was set up that way. So shouldn't she be looking for a person to provide? Ain't that what she's supposed to be doing? And in this plane, on this planet, money can give you can provide you with a lot of things, right? So when a woman wants a man who makes money, ain't that what she's supposed to be doing? That shouldn't be all. It shouldn't be all, but she definitely should be looking for a man who can pay for her and keep her alive, right? She should be definitely looking for a man that can buy her food, that can put clothes over on her body, that can put a roof over her head, get her out of the elements, that can create some sort of comfort the way she don't have to struggle so much if she's going to be focused on raising the children that he's going to be looking for her body to do. Because the man definitely wants her body. That's simple. I know some people don't like to hear that. What you think? We not children? We waste too much time pandering with all this stuff, try to pretend. What you pretending for? What you think the man was? That's the very thing he saw. He saw her. Oh my God, that thing right there, boy. Woo! Look, Lord, please give me a chance with her. Why? Because she's gonna satisfy two needs. I want children, but I also have the desires of this flesh that I need to settle because you said, God, in your word, I know Paul said, but this is still part of scripture. Paul said it's better to marry than to burn. And my desires, I don't want to go out here to sin. I don't want to commit fornication, but you made me like this. I have this desire. God, can you give me somebody that I know will satisfy me? And no, I don't want to hear all that talk about variables that happen because, this man, you gave him everything. He still went on cheat. We're not talking about that. We're talking about love and the necessity of the covenant. The covenant is not ready made. You create the covenant. To me, a person who builds or creates a covenant with you and keeps that covenant, that's love. Who, when the enemy comes to break that covenant, they do whatever is necessary to protect it and keep it. That's love. Love is choices. I know we got different kinds of love. Eros love, agape love, phileo love. And those are different loves for different purposes, different people. But we talking about when two wants to be one. When two become one, that is you need a love and it needs to be conscious. It needs to have intent. The covenant has intent. It is not all these vows that y'all keep repeating that was written before you that most of y'all, as a matter of fact, I've seen too much footage of a lot of brides to be don't even want to say it. They don't want those covenants. And they feel obligated to say covenants or say covenants that was written before them. It's not you are following a mold that's not meant for you. However, if you got covenants, you better put them on there for real. Make the covenants that's built for you and that person. And you must speak them and be intentions. You must have intention. That's love. It's hard to break that love. It's very easy to break a love thinking that somebody can just kiss you and make you and you just faint. That's lust. And that comes and goes because the next man comes that's cuter. Hypergamy is real, not just in money, but in affection also. Don't I look? I ain't do it. Matter of fact, in my past relationships, I was it's crazy. I was acting in my past relationships as if I was already married. Out of the practice and because I'm about honor and respect. If I said that you are with me, even if we have not made vows, that's how I move because that's who I am. You don't have to put me, you don't have to create an atmosphere for me to be something that I'm not. Okay. I've been hearing a lot of this soft era stuff. Oh, you need to create an atmosphere where I can be feminine. Well, you're not a feminine person. That means it's conditional. Covenants, the conditions are laid out in the covenant, and that's it. But if it comes and goes and you didn't put that in the covenant, if that's not something he's going to agree to, don't try to do it now. Don't get mad when he's not part of that. That's not a covenant for him. It wasn't built for him. And then we'll think that, nobody's perfect. I believe there are people who are perfect for you, but you need to be truthful and intentional with your seeking for a spouse of somebody who to form a covenant with that is lifelong. Not this craziness that these people got going on talking about I love him, I love her, man, she's the this, she's the this, she's the this. As soon as they do something wrong that you never thought, you talking about to death do you part, and you talking about for a sickness for better for worse, and you haven't met that worse yet. In today's world, I don't want to encourage it, but I'm almost I'm almost ready to encourage, hey, you need to cut that junk out right there. That's for better or for worse. You don't know what this person really is. If you didn't vet them properly, you might not want to do it. As a matter of fact, if you had that doubt, if that thought crossed your mind, marriage ain't for you. That's not the one. You don't have to tell me. It's already in me. My covenant is right here. It's already in me. You don't have to tell me, well, this is the only one. What? Was I supposed to be going somewhere else? What are you already prepared not to do to make me think that I need to go somewhere else to get it? Then there's no need to be talking about all of these variables and all of these what ifs. There's no need for that. Now I understand. Don't get me wrong. I understand there need to be protections. Yup, protections. Because you don't know what the other person was thinking. You don't know what the other person was thinking. You don't know if they actually came with an ulterior motive, right? But that's a whole nother conversation. I just want to know what was love. See, 17 minutes. It ain't even that long. I got look. This is just a quick thought. What is love? Is love the emotion that you feel when you look into his eyes, her eyes? Is love that thing that makes your voice go soft and you just feel all squishy inside and you just want to be right up under him or her and you just why I'm talking so low. Is that what love is? It makes you feel all warm and fuzzy. Is that what love is? I don't think God felt like that when he loved us. Think about the choice God made before we even got here. That's because it's a part of him. He is love. There's no condition. He is love. He already thought like that. That's already who he is. This is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be duplicating him, trying to be like him, emulating him. He's God. We're supposed to be like God, right? Is there something else? Okay. Then if God basically already had the covenant for you before you got here, when you decide that you want to make a covenant with this person, it should already be in you what the conditions of your covenant would be. You should already be there. That way, you don't have to fake or feel like doing something. I don't feel like, being intimate. What you mean you don't feel like being intimate? I do. Well, it's about okay. So now it's back about you again and not about me. Because your job is when you made that covenant with me, you already knew I had those desires. So that means when I feel like it, you should be ready. I know some people said, nah, that ain't even realistic. That's because you're not with the one you're supposed to be doing it with. Because it's amazing how some of these people will say they're not feeling it, and then if they get mad, they go right out and do that very thing with a complete stranger, a person who they're not in covenant with. I thought you said you didn't feel like doing it. Well, not with you at the time because I didn't feel like it because you got on my nerve or you said this or you disrespected me and that's for male and female. What? What? You know this person likes that. You don't say I do to a person that like that and not expect to keep doing it when you say after you say I do. That's just stupid. That's not the warm and fuzzy. That's a love thing. A love thing is understanding. This is who I am. That's what makes you a perfect person for that person. This person is really charged with intimacy. They love the touch. They love to be all up on. If you're not a person that loves to cuddle, then don't be with somebody that loves to touch. That's not your wife because she gonna want to do that. Yup. But anyway, I'm starting to babble. I'm starting to get off, and we can get out a whole nother conversation, whole nother subject. I'm not going to try to go that way. But the question was, what is love? And if love is a thing you get married for, if that's what it is, I wonder why we keep failing, unless your definition of love is actually wrong, incorrect. Maybe you should adopt a different definition of love and see how that works. It's just an adoption. I'm not saying it. Don't take this the wrong way. Talk about children. You adopt. You can take. You don't have to always. It's not a permanent thing yet, right? Adoption is not a permanent thing. You may want it to be, but that's why you adopt it. You take something that you didn't originally have and get it. Oh, you know what? This fits me perfectly. This is better than what I had before. That's not even a good analogy now when you say better than I had before. Anyway. Well, that's the end of the thought. Hopefully all hearts and thoughts are mine. Hearts and minds, are they clear? I'm starting to babble. This is what happens. I'm starting to get off track. Anyway, y'all be blessed.